Alright, this is a video review of all the Iron Man action figures that show up in the movie Iron Man 2. I'm doing this review because next week, the 29th and the 30th, Iron Man 2 comes out in movie theaters for Spain and Latin America. That means South America and everything that encompasses Latin America. So I'm gonna do this review first. I'm gonna also do it in Spanish, so look for the titles. What can I say? I like the design of the Iron Man movie costumes, but I don't know, the scale of the figures is kinda off-putting to me, because basically what I do is I open them, then I play with them a little bit, and they go into a Ziploc bag. But let's take a look at the first armor that I'm thinking it might appear in the movie, because at the end of part 3, the Mark III, at the end of Iron Man, the Mark III was trashed, so Tony Stark builds the Mark IV. Articulation in the head is like that. You can't get the figure to get into a flying pose. The head, you have to manipulate the upper torso in order to do that a little bit. He has a fist here with a swivel and the elbow here. The armor on his shoulders is made out of soft plastic, and there's a hole in his back. I don't know for what. The arms can go around like that, but just like with the 6-inch figure, you have to be careful with the shoulder armor, else it'll pop off. The way I'm looking at this weird piece of plastic on its crotch, I like this new approach to the hips, which reminds me of Marvel Legends from the Toy Biz era. But it's, wow, this guy looks like he's kinda stuck. It's kinda hard to, you have to maneuver this ball joint around to be able to get a sitting pose or an action pose. The knee bends like this, which is pretty good, but it's inhuman. I don't think there's any person alive that can bend well, I'm sure a gymnast could. They could bend their knee like that. Then you have some articulation on the ankles here. There's pegs in the feet so that you can use the stand. This Iron Man Mark III comes with this, which you put on the figure, and then you open these up, which are made out of soft plastic. To reveal these weapons underneath. It's a little tricky. He comes with his card, which is the Mark III card. Has a 3 here. Has some stats here. I went to ironmancard.com and it just redirected me to marvel.com. So I guess whatever game they're planning to do with these, they don't have it set up yet, or it's over. It's over, Johnny. It's over. Nothing is over till I say it's over. So, let me see. Since I drew out the back of the card, I don't know what gun comes with this Iron Man. So that's it for the Mark III. What do I think about him? I decided to buy this guy last because the design was a little lame. or plain. Compared to the other designs, this is like you're used to seeing the Mark III. That's why he's such a peg warmer. So I would recommend you leave this guy for last. So that's it for the Mark III. Let's move on to the Mark IV. Somewhere along the movie, Tony Stark upgrades the Mark III to the Mark IV. I'm guessing this is the suit we'll see at the beginning parts of the movie. You know, when he shows up in Queens at the Stark Expo. There's a hole in his back, and it's basically the same, except let me bring the Mark III to show you guys what's changed in the arm. That's nice. So as you can see, he still has the circle in his chest, but the armor design changed. He has this, the midsection has these gold lines, and there's some vents on the side of his chest. The gold on his upper arm is smaller and boxier. He has gold highlights on his forearm. The legs, the place where the gold is has changed, and also the pattern. But I would have liked to see some change with the helmet, because it's the same old head on all the Iron Men, except with a different color for the Mark V. Out of all the figures in this line, this was the toughest one. This guy and the Mark VI, for some reason, they look like they need to pee. I gotta pee. I don't know why, and they're packaged badly. I had to go through a whole bunch of these guys. You see, his lower torso is loose, like the whole lower part of his body, because it's connected to the lower torso. The shoulder armor he has is made out of soft plastic, and it can get in the way. It could get in the way of the arms. Articulation is the same for all these figures, which is good. It's consistent. And the wrist. Let me see. With the Mark III, it was kind of hard to manipulate the ball joint here, so I didn't force it. But with a few twists and turns, you can get some decent poses out of Iron Man. Your poser blast. Like that. I'm leaving while I'm shooting you. Choo. Eventually, the Mark IV gets trashed. I want to see when that happens, because we see that he uses in the trailer the Mark V in Rio de Janeiro. So that means before that happened, he got the Mark IV trashed, or maybe he gives it to the government. Who knows? So, if you haven't picked up the Mark IV, what I recommend, and if you want to spend the extra cash, get the Mark IV Target exclusive that comes with the light up base. When I saw them, I was like, oh man, and I already picked up doubles of the Mark VI in the War Machine, so I couldn't even do that. The Mark IV comes with his card. I see his card right here, which shows off the big gun he's supposed to have, which is this. Now these gun accessories I don't care for. I guess they put them in for the kids so kids can have fun with them, but all they do for me is go into a Ziploc bag for later, in case I have to sell them on eBay. You know, I have everything. Accessories are complete. and the card, there's a number here that tells you what number this figure is in the order of the Iron Man 2 line. So this is number 9. And that's it for the Mark IV. Let's move on to the Mark V. Alright. So this is the Mark V. This is my least favorite suit in terms of design, because the Mark IV does show up on the poster of Iron Man with War Machine. So at least, you know, this has some importance. Yeah, the Mark V is a portable suit, and a lot of people might call it, they'll probably call it the Silver Centurion, because that's the color scheme that it has, silver and red. The one that I picked up is the paint apps are a little bad. Like the silver doesn't go up to the bottom of the mask. At least with this figure, there's no shoulder pads that get in the way. So articulation is standard for these figures. And well, this one, his leg is a little loose. If you've noticed, I'm using these stands with the Iron Man figures. That's because I tried to have them all stand by themselves, but some of them won't stand or they'll fall easy. The Mark V comes with the suitcase of doom, which is ironic because this suitcase is supposed to be this armor, but you know, it's like I'm shooting with what I'm wearing. Yeah. So there's a nice blue button here that you press and you shoot. Shoot your missiles of doom. The Mark V comes with a card, just like every other Iron Man figure, but it's basically it's useless. I mean, if you like to draw, you can use this as reference to draw the armor, which is good if you're an artist. If not, if you like to collect cards, you could probably put it with the rest of your card collection. Would I recommend the Mark V? I don't know, if you could get them cheap. I've noticed that this guy is hard to find. I think he's one per case. So if you really want him and you see him, pick him up. If not, you know, if you don't like the design, you could probably skip it. But I've noticed that with toys, sometimes seeing the item in action changes your opinion of them. It's like Destiny Gundam kits, you know, you see the Destiny in action and it's like wow, this is awesome. Next up is the Mark VI. Like the Mark IV, this figure, it's hard to find one that isn't packaged awkwardly. It doesn't have like bad paint apps. He has a shoulder armor, just like the Mark IV. Goes around, it goes up. This is made out of soft plastic, so you gotta be careful with the arm. But the plastic is flexible and it'll give. Standard articulation. And yeah, I guess that's a good enough pose. To make him look straight ahead, you have to bring out his chest. Just like other Iron Man figures, he'll stand on his own. But if you bump the table, forget about it. He's going down. So this is ultimately going to be the last Iron Man armor that Tony Stark uses. I think you could. It's the one he's using when he's with War Machine battling the drones. So that's probably the climactic battle. This guy, he comes with a card, just like everyone else. Let's see. There you go. And this gun, which is painted red and gold. Card is a good thing to help you pick the weapons, because after I put them all in a bag, in a Ziploc bag, I didn't know what item belonged to what Iron Man armor. So let's move on to the next figure, which is the, I think it's like Power Blast Iron Man Mark 6. It's the same figure in terms of the extremities and the head, but there is something special. When you press down on the head, the chest lights up. I mean, the whole torso lights up. And as you can see, the light piping of the armor, where it's supposed to be gold, it shows off more, which is awesome. I didn't notice that the first time. Let me turn off the light. And then press down here. So yeah, the only thing is that you can't keep his light function on without pressing down on his head. So it's not like you could turn him on and then play with him. If you're a kid, you're gonna have to be like, I'm Iron Man. Repulsor blast. Because of the gimmick that he has with his head, it's a little loose. See, I can move it with one finger. So I think if you're gonna buy a Mark 6 out of these two, you should pick the regular Mark 6. If you got extra money and you like the light up gimmick, then pick this guy up too. I think this guy comes with an extra fist. Excuse me. I know one of my Iron Man has an extra fist. It's in the bag. I don't know who it belongs to. There's no hole in his back because of his light up function. And if you have to change the batteries, you have a little instruction sheet that'll tell you how. See, just a screwdriver, and this whole thing, it's like a circle. The whole thing comes off. Pretty cool. And the last of Iron Man 2 movie figures, we got War Machine. Yeah. This is number 12 in the order of figures. As you can see, his extra weapons aren't on. You get this Gatling gun, this fiery red missile. There's a button up here that you press to launch. You also get the small, realistic in scale with the figure Gatling gun. And this belt. If you're wondering why I don't have this mounted on the figure, it's because the belt has a hard time going in to the gun. So I said, you know what, forget it. I could probably use my knife to make this to make this smaller, so we'll be able to fit. No, there you go. Let's see if it'll fit in here. There. Alright. So I was able to do that. War Machine has two little these two parts here on the back that travel up and down this groove. Have a ball joint so you can put the weapons on. You could put this big gun here and his little gun. Let me plug the belt into his back. Put the little gun here. Man. Let me bring this up. That was fun. Alright. So this is War Machine with his two Gatling guns mounted. They could turn around like that because they're on a ball joint. They go back like this. Let me take them off just so they won't get in the way. One cool thing about War Machine is the design. I really like the design. It's a beefed up Iron Man. The colors are gray and silver. He has on his shoulder pad 001, and I guess that's Air Force 57, and this is ED 445. This is FLTS, which looks like flights. It's an abbreviation. Shoulder pads go up like that, but because they're there, he can't turn his arm all the way around. But you know, I guess you get decent enough flight poses. You can always get the repulsor pose. His arc reactor is kind of different. It's white with a hint of red around. So if you look at his palm, same deal there. He has these big blocky boxes on his arm. There's a mid-torso joint, and the head can only move slightly side to side because there's these shoulder pads that get in the way, and he can't look up that much. At first I thought there was the joints on his crotch were stuck, but you just have to manipulate them a little, and then you could get him to bend his knees. Cha cha cha. Like I mentioned before, I like the fact that they're using these joints for the legs, because it reminds me of the Toy Biz Marvel Legends. Even though they can get a little cumbersome at times, I don't know, for some reason I like it. And these can bend like that. There's holes in the feet for the base. There's no hole in his back, which is strange. Most of the other Iron Men have holes in their back. He has a fist. Out of all the figures of the Iron Man 2, I like this guy the most. He's awesome. I've even bought other things like the Slurpee straw featuring War Machine. Slurpee. And the Slurpee 7-Eleven cup. This is the top part. Hello there. But this is the rest of it. So that's it without the top. It says Iron Man 2 and Slurpee from 7-Eleven. So this is, I really like the War Machine design. I want to see it in action. I hope that at the end of the movie it's not just like, alright, War Machine, we kill the bad guys and then see ya next movie. That's not going to be cool. I hope there's more action. Alright, so this has been a long and kind of boring review of the Marvel Legend, of the Iron Man 2 figures from the movie. Thanks for watching. Rate, comment, and subscribe. And I'm still thinking, how am I going to do this whole video again in Spanish and not sound like I'm bored? The thing is, with small figures, there's not a lot to talk about. That's why in the past I've done my G.I. Joes as photo shoots. But hey, let's see if the people like this. Thanks for watching, and see ya. Bye.